Well, thank you three very much for
Thank
being
you.
with me today. I'm thrilled to have all three of you here at once. I'd like to ask each of you, you could just comment, what do you think it is about this world that readers have just gone gaga for? I mean, what did you see in the story that also kind of appealed to you?
I love the fact that this fantasy aspect of our film could be existing among us right now. It's the fact that it's not so separate from reality, it's actually happening at the same time. And that air of mystery and that allure, I think, for an audience is what at least drew me in. You know, it's this whole paranormal world existing within our own that people talk about ghosts and demons anyway. So it's the fact that it's just kind of reinforcing the fact that there could be a world within our own that we don't see that only certain people do. And it is very much based in this real world that doesn't make it so alienated, I think.
What do you guys think?
I mean, for me, the thing I liked about the book was that in general, when I read something, I'm not a very visual guy. I'm more when I read something, I'm reading it for the character. Just maybe it's just the way my head works. But the characters are so well defined in this film, and there's so much ability to sort of move around as an actor that. And Harold was encouraging of that. He wasn't sort of saying, okay, I need this specific thing from you, and that's it. And and that was what I was nervous about, because my assumption was with a big movie like this, especially with these characters, was that it was going to be very sort of stringent upon, and it was sort of the opposite of that. It felt very much like shooting a small film on a big scale. So when we were shooting the sort of interpersonal stuff, it felt very much like something I'm comfortable in, which is a much smaller film.
Having Cassandra around, I know sometimes authors aren't as involved as she was with this. How much is that a bonus? I mean, because obviously you're working from the script, but you have this person who created the world. I mean, how priceless was her involvement?
Huge. I mean, she was instrumental. Her and Lily were instrumental in my being cast in the movie. We got to a point towards the end of shooting where there was an ending that myself and Lily and Cassie weren't particularly happy with. So we were able, well, actually Lily and I first of all weren't happy with, Cassie hadn't seen it. And so we got to go to Cassie and go, we don't like this. What do you think? She goes, oh no, I don't like this either. So let me see what I can come up with tonight. She rewrote it over the night, and then we sort of chucked in our own ideas the next day, and then took it to the heads of the studio and the director, and we're like, this is what we want to shoot. And so having her there was great, because without that support, who knows what could have happened, because we're just two actors. If we go into a room and we go, we want this, they go,
we don't like this.
Stop being so prissy, man up. But then having her there, and it's her baby and it's her story, and it's an honor and it's a blessing.
Lily, you're in almost every scene of the film. Do you have a favorite scene?
Or is it
hard to choose?
It's hard to choose because there's so many different representations of Clary throughout the movie. I have to just say two, because they were two moments that I was quite nervous about shooting, but were very fulfilling. One is the greenhouse, genuinely, because as a fan of the books, it's the moment when you're like, finally they get together. It's this magical moment where Jace is vulnerable. I get to see that. And it's like, they're filled with love for each other. So it really is this kind of epic moment in the story. And also the moment when Jonathan Rhys-Meyers' character comes in, and it's Jace, Clary, and Jonathan, and there's that revelation that happens.
Yeah.
I was quite nervous to shoot that because it is the climax of the movie, and the fear, the intensity, all the emotion from also all the love that was shown in the greenhouse scene also gets questioned, and it is such an epic moment that I wanted to have viewers feel the way I felt when reading both those scenes. And I think the way that they were portrayed, I'm really proud of, and I think the intensity definitely shows through.